everyone, I'm Mind, and this is set number 40657, Dream Village from the LEGO Dreamzzz theme. This set contains 434 pieces, as well as 1 minifigure and 3 tiny figures, or midi-figures, or whatever you want to call them, and it retails for $29.99 in the US. This set is of course a LEGO Dreamzzz set, meaning it does have 2 separate builds, or at least kind of, so make sure to watch this video all the way through if you want to see both builds. Additionally, last month I did reviews of all the other LEGO Dreamzzz sets, so if you haven't seen those yet, after you're finished with this video, make sure to go check those out on my channel. But now let's get into the review. So here's the Dream Village, and this is actually a LEGO Store exclusive LEGO Dreamzzz set, and it's very interesting because this is the only LEGO Dreamzzz set that doesn't come with any of the main characters in the show. We'll get into the actual minifigures later in this video, but taking a look at the main build, you can see it's this little tiny village right here that's actually made to be in the scale of these new tiny figures. These guys come in quite a few sets this wave, and they are very strange. However, if you like them, this is the cheapest way to get a lot of them. But now let's take a look at what the build actually has to offer. So you can see there's 3 main builds, 3 different buildings. There's like a windmill bakery, a sort of magic shop in the center, and then a blacksmith / armory on the side. Starting with the bakery, I think this one's really cute. It's got the windmill at the top, which can actually spin. I love the design of the chimney coming out the side with the smoke at the top. I really love the texture just of this entire build. It uses lots of round circular tiles just to give everything a whimsical, like, fantasy feel, and I think it does a great job at that. Those pieces are used on both the paths and the roofs, and both fit really well. They add the perfect splash of color to the build. But anyway, at the front of the building right here, you can see this is a little bakery stand. There's a few different pieces of food right here, a candy, a cookie, as well as what could maybe be ice cream. There's also a croissant at the top to be like a sign. You can see there's actually a window around each side, and then turning around to the back, you can see the interior. This is where the food's being prepared. There's 2 clips, one has a fork in it and the other has nothing, but one of the figures in the set comes with a whisk, so if you want, you can store that there when it's not being used. There's also a table in the center with a pretzel piece on it, and this entire roof section can be removed, so that gives you a better look at the interior. Jumper piece at the front too for one of the figures to stand. Obviously, there's not a ton of room here, but this is a smaller scale than minifigure scale, so the figures that this is meant for actually fit in alright. I think the overall bake shop's very cute. I like it. There's how the character looks looking out the front, and then if we reattach the roof, you can see there's a little bit of interior in the roof itself, because there's actually a bed up here for the figure to sleep when they're not cooking. It is a little bit of a tight fit when the chef's hat's on, but if you take that piece off, the figure could fit in there a lot more smoothly. And then the sides of this roof can be flipped up if you want better access in here. So overall, this is a very cute little building. It's clear what it's supposed to be, there's enough room for play, and you even have some motion in the windmill. No complaints from me. Next, this is probably my favorite of the 3 buildings. This is like the magician shop. My favorite part has to be this door at the bottom right here. I just love the shape of that. It's so small, so much smaller than any doors we typically see in LEGO. And that's what really makes the set so much fun to me. It's a scale that we really don't see LEGO do, so it helps the set feel unique. Now, of course, there is a Wizard Dreamling in this set, however, it can be a little bit difficult to fit him through the door with that hat. You can obviously turn him on his side to put him through, but if you do actually want him walking along the ground and moving through, you will have to rotate him down a little to get him in. That's a little bit unfortunate because obviously this building is meant for him, so I kind of wish that was a little bit higher, but that probably isn't too difficult to customize if you wanted to. Once again, the upper level of this building can be removed for easier access into the interior. And you can see it's about the same space as the last building had, though now there's this cauldron in the center instead of that pretzel. There's also a golden Harry Potter wand piece hanging on the wall, but that's about all there is to this floor. Of course, that door at the front opens up, and there's actually sticker pieces of the windows around the side, which is pretty neat. It's just trans clear and it's got some potion bottles on it, and each of the 2 stickers, while similar, are actually different on each side. But then if we reattach the upper level, there's actually a good bit of stuff in here too. There's like 2 different potions, each use different colored gem pieces for their caps, as well as 2 classic LEGO frogs. We have a magenta one on a table right here, and then a classic green one looking out the window at the front, which you can actually see from the outside. Taking a look at the roof from the outside, this is what I love about this building. Again, lots of those rounded tiles, but I really think the colors here pop against the magenta. There's also a little flag hanging off the side to show what this is, a picture of a cauldron and a wand piece, and even though it doesn't come in the set, that's actually the classic LEGO wand piece, which is cool to see that called back to here. Also a couple of Z's because of course it's LEGO Dreamzzz, and there's a chimney on the other side too. So once again, fantastic little building. I actually really like it. And then the final of the buildings is the smallest and probably the least interesting, but there's still some cool stuff going on here. So this is like a little blacksmith shop, and there's like armor and weapons for your characters to buy. So at the front you've got this castle helmet in gold. That part does come in quite a few sets, but it's always nice to see. And a few generic weapons. So you have a sai, a machete, a little like harpoon, and then this one's probably the most interesting one. It's like this blue light blade. Now I'm not sure where that piece is from. I believe the original part is from Nexo Knights, but I don't think that's an all-new recolor for this set. I'm not sure what other sets it comes in that color though. So if anybody knows, please let me know in the comments. But regardless, I don't believe I have this piece in this color, so it's very cool to get in this set. And I think it works pretty well. It's like a wacky fantasy weapon for LEGO Dreamzzz. Now this building is also in 2 sections, so that upper level can be removed, and that gives you a slightly better look at the inside on the other side. And you can see in here there's a jumper piece for a figure to stand stand, namely the blacksmith figure that comes in this set. So there's how he looks in there and also around front. There's a little fire pit on the side to heat up the weapons, and then an anvil at the back, which is another golden machete on it. And then if we reattach that upper level, there's like a very castle-esque design to all of this. Sticker piece at the front to be the sign, and of course that's got an anvil and a hammer and more of those Z's. I really like the use of the ski poles to top off this building, and you could probably fit some figures up here if you wanted to. So yeah, definitely the least interesting of the three buildings, at least in my opinion. However, it still definitely adds a lot for play, and I think it especially looks good when combined with the other three. Now, of course, this is a LEGO Dreamzzz set, and as I mentioned earlier in this video, there is an alternate build here, or at least kind of. There is another version of this set, however, it's not an alternate build in the same way many of the other LEGO Dreamzzz sets had alternate builds, because you don't really have to take too much apart to change things. Before we get to that though, let me quickly show you the instructions, because just like all other LEGO Dreamzzz sets, the instructions are fully illustrated, and I think it looks great. There's so much personality to the different Dreamling characters. But yeah, you can see once you're finished building everything, you have the choice to put together the village, or put together like this giant fortress. So let me show you how that fortress is done. It's literally just separate the roofs from each of the buildings, then reattach the base floor of the bakery as well as the magic shop with this piece right here. There's still clips around the other side though, so now reattach the blacksmith shop roof right there. Then we put the base level of the blacksmith shop above the magic shop, the roof of the bakery above the blacksmith shop, and then finally on the other side above the base level of the bakery, we're gonna put the roof of the magic shop. So now instead of being three separate buildings, this is like one mega fortress. And it is definitely a cool alternate option to have. I think the windmill being this tall is a lot of fun, but personally I prefer the look of the separate buildings. Because yeah, this doesn't change all too much. Functionally, this is basically the same thing, but it's all just compressed into one building. It makes the set easier to store, I suppose, but this already isn't a huge set, so it's entirely up to you. But yeah, I don't have too much else to say on this because obviously the interior here is all still exactly the same. So a neat alternate option, just not my favorite. And now coming to the minifigures, here's the only full minifigure in the set, Jayden, and then also here's our first of the Dreamling minifigures, the Dreamling Chef. Starting with Jayden, this figure is surprisingly common. He's just sort of like a generic sleeping kid for LEGO Dreamzzz, and he is a character in the show, just not a very prominent one. So it's weird that he comes in more sets than some of the main characters. I think he's an alright figure. I do like his torso print. All the little unicorns are very funny. He has a retainer in, which is kind of unique, and he does have an alternate face where he's sleeping. But yeah, I just don't have a ton to say about him. I really wish a main character came in this set, because the fact that there's none is pretty disappointing. And then the Dreamling Chef is the same as the Dreamling mushrooms that come in other sets, though instead of the mushroom top head, he has a chef's head. Now the Dreamling mushrooms are bizarre. They have very uncanny faces. I do like the little golden spores on them, but I'm still not sure how to feel about this new figure scale. There is back head print though, which is nice to see, and you can see in terms of accessories, it comes with a whisk and a hat. So yeah, this guy definitely fits the set, but he's a weird figure in general. And then here are the final two figures in the set, two more Dreamlings, and they use the same exact body and face prints, so I'm not going to bother taking their beards and everything off because they're exactly the same as what you just looked at. Yeah, you can see this is the Dreamling Wizard and the Dreamling Blacksmith. The Wizard comes with a classic LEGO Wizard hat though in blue, and I don't believe that personally I've had that piece in that color before. I know it's come in that color before, so it's definitely a very cool one to get. And then of course as an accessory it comes with one of the Harry Potter ones. And then both these two share the same beard piece though in white and orange. And the Blacksmith actually has this ponytail hairpiece at the back, which is quite good. I'm actually a pretty big fan of how that looks. And then of course as an accessory he just comes with a hammer. So yeah, if you want to build up your own dream village, it's nice to get all these guys here. I kind of wish it came with one of the mushroom top characters too, because I think that print's really cool, and obviously it would have fit here, but I suppose it's not the biggest deal that it didn't. My biggest thing is I really wish it came with the main character instead of Jayden, because Dreamzzz has so many interesting main characters, and Jayden is just none of them. But overall, what are my thoughts on this set? This one's a really weird one, because I actually do quite like this set, but it's just strange. It's so different from the others. Starting off with the value, I think the value here is actually pretty amazing. In terms of scale, it feels like what a $30 set should be. It's nothing exceptional in terms of like the size of the set. But the thing is, it's over 400 pieces for only $30, which in the year 2023 is really good for LEGO. Now, a lot of that is small pieces because this is a very small scale set. So even though this is a small build, it makes it a very detailed build. And that's something I really like about it. I also think it could definitely be fun to play with because there is so many different things to do here for only $30. And I think this is just a very unique set in general because as I mentioned earlier in this video, this is a scale that we don't see LEGO do all too often, so it feels very different from other LEGO sets. So those are the positives I give this. The negatives, the biggest thing is the minifigure selection. If you're a fan of the LEGO Dreamzzz show, there's really not any reason to get this set because none of the characters you care about are here. So if you're a fan of the show, I'd recommend you get any other set first, basically, because I'm sure you'd want some of the characters from it. So the biggest flaw here is definitely that minifigure selection. However, if you're just a fan of LEGO and you're only interested in Dreamzzz for cool sets, and you don't really care about the characters of the show or anything, in terms of builds, this might be one of my favorites of the wave for all the reasons I just mentioned. And then one final thing I want to mention is that this set is weirdly army buildable. Like, if you wanted, you could make a huge dream village just by buying multiples of this set, and it wouldn't be that expensive to do so. You'd get tons of the Dreamlings, all these different buildings which you could definitely mix and match. Now, I don't know who really wants to army build the dream village, but that option's there if you want. So yeah, overall I'd say this is definitely a very good set. Not going to be for everybody, and in fact I'd say it's not going to be for most people. But if you are interested by the set, I would recommend it, because personally I'm very happy with how it turned out. But of course, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and go check out my other Dreams reviews if you haven't seen them yet. I'll leave a playlist link in the description below. Thanks for watching everybody, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!